All right, y'all, I just got not one, not two, but three brand new Ruger American Ranch rifles in 300 Blackout, 350 Legend, and 450 Bushmaster. Now, I got these rifles because I didn't have rifles in those calibers for my ballistics gel test, so I needed something. I figured let's get a Ruger American. They're super popular, they're very affordable. But before I went ahead and scoped them, I figured let's take a look at what you get when you get a Ruger American right out of the box. And here they are, the familiar white and red Ruger boxes. Let's pop these open and take a look. So what you get is the rifle, you get a rifle lock or a gun lock, your bolt is right here, you get a magazine, depending on what rifle you get. This is the 300 Blackout. This one came with a 10 round P mag, and just so you know, 300 Blackout works pretty much in any 5.56 NATO magazine, just for your information. Now, if you're in California or something, I can't help you. I don't know what yours is going to come with. Who knows, your laws are ridiculous. And then of course under there is your gun literature, your manual, stuff like that. But that's what is in the box. And here are all three of those Ruger American Ranches out of the box. I'll go ahead and go over some of the features, and I'll start with the green stocked 350 Legend. And apparently the green stock is a distributor exclusive, so you might not be able to find this. I was glad to though, because my other two are tan and I just wanted something different. But the 350 Legend version comes with a 5-round magazine, and that's because it has a bunched up spring inside the bag. It can take different capacity magazines, just so you're aware. And something I found really strange is the magazine release. So it uses standard AR magazine release and catch parts, but they leave the top part of the magazine release button covered. I don't know why. Maybe there's a reason. I think that's kind of stupid. And it is the same on the 300 Blackout version. And speaking of the 300 Blackout version, here it is right here. It is largely the same as the 350 Legend version, but it comes with a 10 round P mag, at least mine did. Once again, the magazine release is partially covered up, which makes it a little bit annoying to drop that magazine, but it's doable. And I want to go ahead and show you something about the 300 Blackout version. So when you cycle the bolt with the included P mag, watch this. Go back. If it's empty, the bolt will not go forwards, but with some other magazines it doesn't do that. So for reference, this is a 20 round Duramag. Watch this. So it doesn't have that hang up, and I'll show you why. And that issue, if you want to call it an issue, stems from the follower that is in the magazine. So on the PMag, you have a much more blunt surface on the back of that cartridge guide, whereas on the Duramag, it is much more angled, and the bolt can push on that and drop that down and ride forward. And it's really not a big deal either way. I just thought you should know. And looking at the 450 Bushmaster version, it comes with a completely different style of magazine. It has a little lever catch right here. So you reach up here, pull that back, and you can pull the magazine out. The catch is integral to the magazine, and this is a 3-round magazine. And I'll go ahead and show you the bolt cycling on the 450 Bushmaster version. It doesn't have any sort of a binding issue on the magazine, at least the factory mag that comes with it. And FYI, in case you wanted to know, the 300 Blackout version will accept the 60-round Magpul D-Mag. Now, whether or not this will reliably feed 300 Blackout, I don't know, but I will be testing it. And yes, all three come with a threaded muzzle. The 300 Blackout comes with a cap, the 350 Legend comes with a cap, and the big 450 Bushmaster comes with a factory installed, just absolutely monstrous muzzle brake right there. I imagine that's going to be deafening, but they do include the cap, so that's nice. And of course, each one comes with the adjustable trigger that they're putting on these Ruger Americans. I personally haven't messed with any of them. Of course, these are brand new rifles. I haven't shot them yet, but I do have one in 6.5 Creedmoor that, of course, has that same trigger. I haven't adjusted it at all, and I find it perfectly fine. And we'll go ahead and use the 350 Legend rifle as the example going forward, because I can do that with it. So they come with a Picatinny rail for scope and optic attachment. Something to note, the screws that hold that Picatinny rail on, there are 4 screws. On my 6.5 Creedmoor version, those screws were barely in there, they were barely attached, so definitely check those for tightness before you mount a scope, or you're going to have a whole lot of trouble holding 0. And also, if you're going to stick with the Picatinny rail that comes with it, I would suggest removing it, cleaning out the thread holes, making sure there's no oil and stuff in there, and then re-torque these to spec before mounting your scope, just to make sure that everything is solid. But I'm actually going to toss these Picatinny rails because Tally makes some of their ultralight rings that will fit on the Ruger American, and they replace this rail, and it allows you to mount a scope just that much lower, which I really enjoy. And just like every Ruger American, it comes with the Tang safety, which I find really, really nice. I really enjoy Tang safeties. It just has 2 positions, fire and safe, and to me that's ideal. I don't need a 3rd position personally. And for good measure, I will go ahead and show you that when it is on safe, you can still cycle the bolt, and of course when it's on fire, you can cycle the bolt. So putting it on safe does not lock the bolt. And then I think we need to talk about the stock a little bit. So this stuff is some pretty cheap plastic, which is why the rifle is so affordable. I want to go ahead and show you. You see the gap there on either side of the barrel? There's a little bit of a shadow, but you can see the gap up top. Watch. See how easy that is to flex? The stock is extremely flexible, and that's just something to be aware of. I mean, the stock functions fine for what it is. You're not getting a target stock with a Ruger American. But while we're on the topic of the stock, I would be remiss if I didn't show you this. So I've gone ahead and taken the barreled action out of the stock to show you it does come with these metal V-taper bedding blocks in the stock for both action screws. So even though the stock forend and just the plastic overall is pretty flimsy, you do get a really good action to stock weld with those bedding blocks. So it's really not that big of a deal. And of course they come with sling swivel studs on the front and the back, so you can throw your rifle sling on there. And then a quick note on the recoil pads, they're kind of cheapy, but I kind of like them too. They have a real good, I don't know, squish ratio to them, so they're nice and soft to soak up any recoil. I don't think that's a real problem on the 350 Legend or the 300 Blackout, but on the 450 Bushmaster, I imagine this thing is going to kick pretty good. And I might as well go over the general specs with you real quick. As far as weight, you're going to be between 5.5 and 6.1 pounds, depending on caliber, with the bigger calibers actually weighing the least because there's a bigger hole in the barrel. Overall length is 36 inches. Barrel length is all just a hair over 16 inches, and length of pull is 13.75 inches for all models. You've got an alloy steel receiver and a cold hammer forged barrel, so it's got good quality parts where it counts. So that's the Ruger American Ranch right out of the box. I wanted to make this video real quick before I start throwing scopes on these things and getting ready to take them out to the range and do the ballistics gel tests. But I hope you got some value out of this. That way you can kind of see what you get before you make the purchase if you're going to get one of these. And I'm going to say something that might tick some people off, but it's the cold hard truth. So back in the day, like say back in the 90s, your budget deer rifle, your budget gun, was sort of the lever action 30-30. I remember getting the ads in the mail for Kmart and Walmart. You could go pick up a Marlin 30-30 for $2.99. Those days are long gone and they ain't never coming back. This is your new budget deer rifle, the Ruger American. Love it or hate it, like it or leave it, that's kind of the way that it is. I look forward to shooting these. And if you've got a Ruger American Ranch in any caliber, let me and everybody else know how you like it. What do you like about it? What do you not like about it? How has it been for you? Let us know in the comments. Hey, if you enjoy these videos, check out my website, masonleather.com, and get yourself some leather gear handmade by me just for you. I've been handcrafting leather gear for hunters for over a decade, and I would love to make you something. The link is in the video description.